The game is live. It is Frost. It is a 4-player map, so let's jump right into it. Starting to the bottom right, we have with a 3-0 lead in the best of 7 series, it is San taking a great lead now. One single map win away from winning the ASUS ROG 2014. And starting to the top right, we have his opponent. Dia once again finds himself one single map away from being eliminated out of the tournament. He bounced back in the semifinals. Can he do it again in the PvP that he has to play here?
Still, I'm suitably impressed by Deer. If I had to say if I've ever seen Deer play worse in some of the games in this tournament over the last 1.5 years, I would say probably not. All the games that are coming from Korea from him are so damn good. This is not his best tournament, not his best day, and he's finding himself into the finals. Even his worst is good enough to be better than almost everyone else here at the tournament, which is really sick. Does that mean that he has the mental strength and the bag of tricks to come back into this series? I don't know. 0-3 against San, and San is no slouch. For San, this would be a very interesting story because he has been second at IEM Singapore just November last year, but he has never won a tournament, and he's been around since the very early days of StarCraft 2 release, being that guy who was still in university, having only some time to train StarCraft, and being really creative and fun player to watch.
Yeah, and I'm looking pretty silly here right now with my 4-own prediction that he had, earlier. I really thought
we both are.
Yeah, I really thought after this great semi-final he would have just that mindset, really go into this and start just completely crushing. And I'm very impressed by San's performance on the other hand. Like, he's playing this so incredibly well. Deer right now with a very, very fast Twilight Council, actually.
Okay, so Deer said, this double gate sentry first, safe style for me, it's not working out. If I do that 4 more times potentially, it will get abused somehow. I'm gonna be the one that goes crazy. Super fast Twilight Council gives him a very quick Dark Templar if he so chooses. And San, he's the one that actually is going for a bit of a different build here.
I mean, looking at it, it kind of is, I have to say it is nice. You would have expected Dia to play it really super safe right now because he's afraid. He's afraid if I lose another map. But I feel at this point, his thought process might actually be, I have 4 maps to play right now. If I lose a single one, I'm out. I cannot just play safe the entire time. I have to risk something here.
So he's got nothing to lose anymore, he feels like, at least. He has accepted his loss, and anything else that he gets extra is a bonus.
Well, at this point, now with the Dark Shrine, it's something that San might not really anticipate. He's going into an expansion and also starts his own Stargate, so he will go for an Oracle here. And if the Oracle stays at home, then he has a good chance of defeating the DTs, and that would be horrible for Dia, since he's really cutting a lot of economy for this, and he also doesn't have the second base as fast as San does. On the other hand, if that Oracle is anywhere else on that map, he might get a few kills in if there's no defense for Dia, but at the same time, he's going to lose a lot against his opponent's DTs.
That's right. Now the Stargate is just about finishing. The Dark Shrine's almost finished as well. It will still take 40 seconds or so for the Oracle to come out. But of course, the Dark Templar needs some time to walk over there. So just about aligns, the Oracle finishing with the DTs coming into the base.
Well, and here we have once again the hallucinated Phoenix, of course, just going for a meet and greet, and he's like, oh, look at that, Dark Shrine. I guess I'm going to keep that Oracle close to home.
That is not happy news for Deer. At least you are never completely invested in the Dark Templar doing damage. He may not even warp in a DT.
Yeah,
it might be wise not to. Because he's not in too bad of a shape. He's got his own Nexus building halfway. He can start Blink. Equal workers right now. Sure, San can pull ahead a little bit, but he will have Blink against San's no Blink and against San's Stargate tech. If he can just make sure not to take damage from the Oracle, he's in a very fine position.
Yeah, I mean,
can maybe do some Blink harass.
The Oracle is just on the high ground there and just waiting for the DT to appear, and that is never going to happen, at least not for now. It might happen later on in the game, but so far Dia says, like, why would I invest into that DT? I already know that he scouted what I'm doing, so he will definitely do something to prevent that from doing damage. Yeah. So everything is kind of working out for Dia so far.
Do you know the willpower it takes not to warp in a single DT after you finish off a super fast Dark Shrine? It's like, my gut says no, but my heart says yes. But you don't do it anyway. A lot of willpower needed.
It's like if you start eating candy and you want to finish it and you say like, no, I should probably save some for later.
Exactly.
I always fail at that, by the way. So I would be a horrible Protoss player with DTs. I would be horrible at that.
Deer showing the restraint that Kaldor could not.
Exactly, that's kind of what happens there. I would have warped in 5 and lost the game immediately.
Well played, sir, well played.
Well, right now we have the blink upgrade nearly done for Deer, and we have actually a Void Ray started here for San as the defense back at home.
Yeah, Void Rays are great to mix in, especially when you know the opponent's on blink. Huh, I'm surprised the Oracle didn't try to make something happen there. There was only 1 Stalker and 2 Sentries initially, but I guess he didn't want to potentially lose his Oracle in a marginal situation.
And you know, we are once again entering this situation that you were talking about in one of the earlier games. We see the Forge now coming in with a +1 attack upgrade, and if San holds against what Dia is doing, or what he's attempting to do, doing damage with the Blink Stalkers at the bottom of the map, then he would have the much faster upgrades and therefore a big lead in the game. The Forge just now started for Dia, and the Protoss player for Team Mousesports is still just bouncing around with those Stalkers at the bottom of the map.
Yeah, what I usually like to do when I have Blink, and the situation is kind of similar, we both have 2 base, I try to take 4 Stalkers, get in there in the natural or the main base, kill some probes and then blink out. But San's defenses are pretty good. He's got an Immortal there, which means that he can't just move past that. So it's a risky affair.
Yeah, he loses one of those Stalkers in the attempt of taking down that Immortal. It looked a little bit like bait as well, just gets 2 shots off, moves back, falling over, just goes down right away. You know, it's like, yep, you lost the Stalker right there, so have fun trying that again. Especially since I now have my Void Ray.
Yeah, and do you see that Observer? Normally that Stalker wouldn't have died, Deer Stalker, but because of the Observer, the range of the Mothership core actually managed to shoot 1 more time on the Stalkers, and that's a pretty cool Observer too, warning him of any of Deer's movements.
Dia being supply blocked here after losing the pylon. He's going to complete another pylon back at home in just a second, but only leaves him with 2 additional supply that he can use, starting a few more. But that supply block is of course going to be pretty annoying for him, at least for now. At the same time, the +1 attack upgrade about to be completed. He has now also his own Twilight counter for the +2 attack upgrade. We have the Stalker still in the main base though, blinking forward here, trying to snipe the Mothership core. A Time Warp being used to save it for now, and Zealots also targeting down the Stalkers here. Another blink onto the low ground at the natural, doing a lot of damage with this.
Yeah, nice moves here by him, killing a good number of probes. San's units were out of position, tries to blink away here, will not happen. Force Field's cutting him off there. Blink still on cooldown, will try to kill a probe or 2 more, gets 1, and that one will die.
Do you think that was worth it for him? He lost a lot of Stalkers there, I think 5 in total, and he killed overall 9 Harvesters. Was it worth it for him?
I think if he was chrono boosting probes at home, it would be worth it to increase the gap of probes, but he didn't really. I think it was not worth it. Like generally you do want to sacrifice your Stalkers to kill probes because they're quite valueless, like worthless in big fights.
You want to have a proper trade for it.
But you need a proper trade, and ideally you kill like a Sentry, a Mothership core, and 7 probes. That's okay for 5 Stalkers. Or like 6 probes and 2 Zealots, but you don't just want to kill a few probes. They're easily chrono boosted back into the game.
And well, right now we have actually a really nice snipe on that Oracle that we just saw a few seconds ago on screen with one of the High Templars moving them straight into an Archon. And the army supply, just in general, way ahead for San already. So taking that lead, his upgrade, the +2 attack upgrade, is also a lot faster than it is for Dia. Both of them are now with a 3rd base in a pretty decent position there. But the one thing that we do not really see is a robotic spay for either one of those players. No laser beams this time, it's going to be Immortal Archon.
Yeah, but as mentioned before, in the Stardust versus San match, which ended before Colossi could come into the battle, once you pass that 140, 150 supply mark, you've got to add the robotic spay to add more value to your army. There's no sense making like 15 Immortals, 15 Archons. They can't all fire at the same time, so you need something that overlaps with your army. So right now, we're still in that phase where they could launch a very quick attack on each other if they feel like they've got the edge. But in a minute or so, we should be seeing a RoboBay being added.
Yeah, we already have with the robotics facility a Warp Prism being produced now for Dia that might give him an opportunity to warp a couple of units in back at the bottom right. But for now, it's San who turns up the heat, goes straight into his opponent's 3rd base and takes down a couple of Harvesters here with a charger. But even maybe attempting to charge down one of those High Templars, but nice moves with the probes here, at least blocking that and preventing it from happening, and or so I thought. But in the end, there are even more probes that go down, and the High Templar also bites the dust.
San did a lot of damage here, and you know what else he can infer from this is that Deer's about to attack. Because why didn't he have any warpins available to defend? Where was his army? San is completely ready for that. He's positioned here for it. And Deer has to hightail it out of here or pay the price of his life.
I mean, right now, once again, Army Supply heavily in San's favor, and his upgrades are absolutely crazy good. He's a little bit ahead. Here we go again.
The mothership core got popped by San.
And here comes that time warp. Deer is running away. Oh, a second time warp. The entire army is slowed. He's losing so much on the retreat already. Losing an Archon, losing an Immortal. And Deer is on the run, losing even more now against the charge lots that are streaming in once again to just kill another Immortal. The Immortal actually surviving here for a second, but another charge lot putting an end to it after all. Crazy good position now for San. Army supply is 102 against 74, and just the amount of high-tech units that we see currently for San is so much better. 5 Archons against 3, 6 Immortals against 5, and we have, well, at least for now, still a little bit of damage done by Dia, but that one Void Ray doing so much, and here comes once again San moving in. Dia has to somehow hold on and defend against this, but it looks very unlikely that he's able to pull this off.
Yep, San moving up here in possibly one of the worst positions possible, but the numbers were so much on the side. He did so great leading up to this, even defending the War Prism harass from Deer there with his Void Ray in defense, and it looks like he will do the amazing feat of a 4-0 victory over Deer.
Wow, 57 army supply against 24. The warp ins just continuing for San here. The harvester count is still very even, but that leaves us with the supply count here in a great position for San. He has just so much army supply, taking down even more Immortals. Now it's High Templar and Zealots that are moving in, but we still have Archons for San doing the damage here, and it just looks very unlikely that Deer is bouncing back from this. San is making his way into the natural of the Mousebots player. Deer is already down 3 maps. He cannot lose here. If he loses on Frost, then it's all over. Then San is the victor of the ASUS ROG 2014 here in Helsinki, and it looks very much like this happens.
GG!
San with a 4-0 takes the championship.